Welcome to the Founders on the Ground podcast. I'm today's host, Robert Maddox. In this show, we interview startup founders and take a deep dive into what they're working on. What is your name and the name of your business?
Hey, Rob, thanks for asking. Great to be on the show. For those listeners, my name is Rich Casanova, the founder of podcastersdirectory.com.
So, for a bit of background information, what were you working on in your previous life and how did you make money?
My previous life, I like that question. So I was in radio in California, but more recently been in podcasting for quite a number of years. Created the a podcast business network where we generated over 1 million downloads, and most of that came through hosting their own shows, and then through some sponsorship as well.
So, what is the specific problem that you're trying to solve?
Well, the problem we solve is actually a pain point I've had for many years as a podcaster, as well as most podcasters I know. Typically, actually, after about 7 episodes, a podcast will fade. It's called, actually has a term in the industry called pod fade. Many times it's due to, finding your next guest. And so that's really the problem we solve. It's a guest matchmaking service. So you never have to, you can stop searching and get matched automatically through our innovative services.
And what is your vision for the solution?
Yeah, really, our vision is at least two. One, the short term is to get the word out about podcast guest matching services for podcasters, speakers, and authors. Really like an agency without the agency fees, kind of the Airbnb for matching those parties. But our long term version is through those efforts and fundraising to launch the first ever Podcasting for Good network, much like we did with the Podcast Business Network, to tell the stories of groups, organizations, and individuals doing good.
What is your go-to-market strategy, and do you already have a community for your product?
Well, Rob, as you know, we've already gone to market, and we have members now in 42 states and 17 countries around the world. So our next, challenge or project is just to grow and scale that up. And we have some joint ventures that are going to really 10x or 20 or 100x what we're currently doing. But in terms of the community, you've been instrumental in helping us build that. So that's our next big, undertaking is to create a community beyond the transactions that are successful on the site. And we have big picture visions to make that happen.
What is the biggest obstacle in your way right now, and what would you need to get around it?
Great question. Who doesn't like obstacles in startups? I think that's near the definition of startups is identifying those obstacles, overcoming them. So our obstacle would be just, really the growth phase is whether we're going to continue bootstrapping or look for investors. And because at this point, it really involves building a team and organizations, which we're pursuing through virtual assistants and some interns at the moment to really, take what we've already created and just add fuel to that fire.
What is your why for doing all this, and how does it drive you?
Yeah, thanks for asking about our why. That's our mission, which is on the front page of our site. Behind the scenes, beyond making the connections in the community with podcasters, speakers, and authors, our vision and mission is to create this Podcasting for Good network, or a channel for good, if you will, to tell the stories, untold stories of nonprofits, individuals, and companies doing good. And, I think we all need more of those messages. And we're leading the charge with rallying the podcasting community behind an organization that we're very passionate about that actually takes kids that are born completely deaf and restores their hearing. So they live in rather than a silent world, they live in a hearing world for the rest of their life, and ability to not only hear conversations and rather than sign language or living in a silent world, they can actually, in our case, listen to podcasts and could become, the next generation of podcasters with a story that could change the world. So that's, our legacy. We hope to, make possible through the efforts of what we're doing at the podcastersdirectory.com.
So where do you see yourself and your business 1 year from now?
A year from now, wow. It's been an amazing year so far, and we're looking forward to where this journey will take us, besides living independently, location independent, and becoming a digital nomad, sipping Mai Tais on the beach. But seriously, making an impact, really helping solve that problem of podcasters, speakers, and authors kind of connecting within a community to share their story with the world and beyond, our big picture vision of the podcasting for good, which will morph into channel for good, telling not only the nonprofit story of helping kids born deaf live in a hearing world, but we're going to do the same thing for speakers and also for authors in their space. So, and hopefully along the way, make a profit. I think that's, I've heard rumors that's what happens in a successful business. So looking forward to the journey and looking forward to those folks around the world that are already joining us as early adopters.
What is your advice for other founders or future founders out there?
Wow, advice for founders or future founders. That's a big one. I would say it's going to sound rather simplistic, but just get started today. There's no better day than today to get it going. It's not going to be perfect. We've all heard perfection is the enemy of success. I've been guilty of that. I think most startups are, but you just got to realize that, just getting started is probably the biggest obstacle you're going to face. And I would say along your journey, seek mentors or people that, and surround yourself by the team members that are going to, get behind your cause and your mission. And even if they're not part of your team or organization, at least they, surround yourself around those positive people that support. And you're going to have people that are going to, challenge what you're doing. You just got to persevere and, know that there's light at the end of your vision, and it's going to be worth it.
And finally, how can people connect with you?
All right, I would say rather than giving out a bunch of social media handles and what have you, just you can actually just connect with me at podcastersdirectory.com and hit up the contact form, mention this podcast or whatever question I can help you with, and I can check it out. And as well as all my social media handles are right on the website as well at podcastersdirectory.com.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Founders on the Ground podcast. If you'd like to attend one of our pitchathons, we meet once a month in person in Atlanta, Georgia, and we also meet once a month online for our global community. You can follow us on LinkedIn at Startup Oasis and join our mailing list there. We are also on meetup.com. Tune in next week for another new episode of Founders on the Ground podcast. See you then.